So now you've added all your data into your SPSS file from your questionnaires, and you're ready to begin analyzing your data. So here I'm going to show you a few simple tricks in terms of how to analyze your data using descriptive statistics. This is going to be the first thing you do anytime that you get a new data set, because the descriptive statistics can tell you a lot about the data that you're working with. Okay, so let's get started here. The first thing, I am in the Data View tab. Notice that that is highlighted, and I have some 5 different variables that I'm working with. I'm working with a gender variable, a variable for age group, a treatment or instructional treatment variable. I have a score on an achievement test, and I have a self-directed score or scale score that is presented here. So I have 5 different variables, and what I want to do is actually just begin running some very general descriptive statistics. So I'm ready to do that. I go up to the Analyze option up here, and under the Descriptive Statistics menu, I'll actually select Frequencies is where I'm going to go first. And notice in this this box is actually where I'm going to select the variables that I want to analyze. Now, one of the most simple things that you can do, because you may have access to SPSS regularly, or you may not. And so if you don't, you want to make sure that you can get a report that you can view away from the SPSS computer. So what I'm doing is going to select all these variables, and you can select the first one, and then if you hold your Shift key down on a Windows machine, and it'll select them all for you. Or you can do these individually, and you just select the arrow that moves them all over into the Variables tab, or Variables column. Now, first we want to do is go into the Statistics button here. And generally, you're going to want some basic descriptive statistics, such as mean, median, and mode. And you'll also select standard deviation. These are the most common descriptive statistics that you'll be working with, though there are a number of others here that you might be interested in. Well, so when you select those, select Continue. And then I'll also show you that you can add some visual charts to aid in your analysis process. So here you can select the charts that you're working with, and you could select bar charts, would be a good one, or histograms also is effective. And then you can select the whether you want to show frequencies or percentages. I'm going to go ahead and show frequencies at this point. So I'll select Continue, and then when I'm ready to run the analysis, I'll select OK. Now, when I'm running the data, an output window appears in SPSS, and it looks something like this. So once I've run this statistic, notice that I have some code that it has generated. I have the general statistics that have been added from those variables. Notice the 5 variables across the top. I have 50 cases in those that's showing there, and it's showing mean, median, mode, and standard deviation for each of those. Next is the frequency tables. Now these are just counting up the responses for each of those variables. So in this case I have 27 males, 23 females, and notice I'm also showing percents as well that you can look at in those tables as well. And those are presented for each of those variables. Now notice it gets a little funny when I start dealing with scale data on frequencies, because it's just counting up the unique score values for each of the responses. That could be useful in terms of if you're doing a histogram, but again, it's a very kind of cumbersome process to deal with just some of those data there. So now we're getting into some of the bar charts. Notice that this is the data from the gender variable. We have data from age group, and those are broken out there. I have data from treatment group that are evenly split. And here's the bar chart again on the achievement test. And again, the self-directed score. So in just a few moments, I was able to move data, present quite a bit of descriptive statistics that I can look at. And then if I wanted to save this, I could go up to File, and I could print this, or I could save it as a PDF file that I could take and use. There's a lot of different ways that I can take and use it, but the good thing is that you can save it, and you don't have to be associated or have to use SPSS to be able to get to your data and analyze it. So in this tutorial, I've showed you how to analyze data within SPSS using simple descriptive statistics and be able to kind of interpret the output window that is generated after you finish running those statistics.